Hi, my name is Mary Wong, and I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist in downtown Toronto. I just want to talk to you today about my personal top 7 survival skills that I tapped into myself going through fertility challenges during holiday season or any kind of celebratory time of the year, which includes birthdays. And I want to talk about birthdays at a later date because that's something, a different conversation. But today I'm going to tackle survival skills for the holidays. So what are we going to do, right? The very first thing that I say is, it's a very busy time of year. It's year end, so at work there's lots of things to do, but then there's also lots of work functions, family functions, and even friends. So choose wisely. You're already stressed to the max. It's not about adding more to your stress. So what you want to do is, say no and don't feel obliged to attend every single event that you're invited to. So for example, if your friends are getting together and there's a whole lot of them with kids, then I say you don't need to go, and have self-preservation, because you're not going to enjoy the conversation. It'll just be basically torture, especially when, for those of us who have had to go through fertility issues, or who are currently experiencing infertility, I would say that there's a commonality in that there is this grief, this loss that you go through every single month, whether it's the loss of a potential child that you may have, that you imagine that you want to be with and spend and share holiday time with, or actually grieving a physical loss through stillbirth or miscarriage. So this is the time to recollect and be able to be kind to yourself. So then there are gatherings that you just cannot avoid. So what do you do with that? Like, how do you survive a place where people may ask you a lot of unwanted questions, and they are people that may be well-intentioned, which includes people like mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles or in-laws, like that. So there may be well-intentioned comments or questions, but they're completely inappropriate as a person suffering through it. And unless you've gone through it, you just you get the idea. Like, some of the unwanted questions would be like, well, get on with it already. Or if they do know that you've been trying to conceive, they'll say, just relax, or you can always adopt, or maybe things are just not meant to be, and it's okay, you don't have to have a kid, because guess what, they're a pain in the butt anyway, you don't want them. And so, of course, how do you deal with all these comments? Well, for me personally, I just I've read online some people that would say, prepare yourself with answers to questions that are commonly going to be asked. Sure, you can do that, but I guess for myself, when I was going through these challenges and it was difficult, and it's like you're beaten and you're knocked down to your knees, the last thing you want to do is have to make up an answer, right? So for me, I would just I didn't have enough energy, so I would just kind of smile, and then make some kind of excuse and walk away. And I think there's some self-preservation in that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you can walk away, go to the bathroom, just taking a breather. I think that could be helpful. One of the best things I would do, one of my best tricks for when I go to a gathering, is to actually volunteer and do dishes or serve dishes, because it kind of takes away the ability to have those kinds of conversations, because you don't really have time to talk to any one person, which is really good, right? So that's one way. The second way of dealing with it at gatherings is having a supportive loved one, whether it would be a friend at gatherings, or even your husband or partner, or another family member that knows about your situation, that can ward off others that may have the bad comments, or maybe even have them chat with whoever you're going to be with, so that you won't even get the questions. It's kind of like, you know what, I'll tell you when it's time, please don't ask, right? The other place is workplace. So I really do encourage people to find at least one person that they can confide in, so that even at work functions they can be deflected and questions can be avoided. And then the other thing is, while you're going through all this, it's about being able to be authentic with your emotions. And that means, yes, for me, I did put on that little smiley face just for that self-preservation in that moment. But I also gave myself the permission to either step away in that moment, whether it's taking a breather outside, or going to the bathroom and having a quick little cry, or waiting till I got home, and I would either write in a journal or revisit it with a friend or my partner, something like that, just to really get it out of our system. Because one of the things that we know, stress out of going through fertility challenges is very real, and it can be equated to and equal to those that go through things like stress of cancer. So we don't want to undermine that. And so don't bottle your emotions is that key point. Because if you do, then over time, that in of itself can also create more imbalances in your physical and emotional body, which may also deter your ability to be more receptive. So on that note, what's the next thing that you can do? Well, I say this is actually the perfect time and place to really reconnect with your partner, and actually taking time out or time in at home to relax and connect. Because one of the most difficult things is when you're having so much stress is sometimes you're just not in good mood. And of course, if you're doing any kind of fertility drugs at all at a fertility clinic, it just kind of heightens your natural emotions anyway, times like 100, because you're on these extra hormones. So you're going to be touchy, and it's a time to be quiet. You can be with your partner. You don't even have to talk. Just being in the same room, holding hands, doing some hugging, some downtime, whatever it may be for you, and that might actually be helpful during this holiday season. And one of the most important things that I think that I resorted to was daily gratitude. And for those who have been following me, one of the things I did was for 365 days, I actually posted online one thing that I was grateful for. It was a bit of a chore because I wanted to try to get a picture involved. But at home, what you can do is literally write it down, or at least, first thing in the morning when you wake up, you think about one thing at least that you can be grateful for. And sometimes when we're sad, have grief, or angry about our situation, one of the things that can happen is that can be really difficult to even get out of bed and think about what to do. So it could be the most simplest things. It doesn't have to be anything profound. It's like, wow, I got out of bed today. That's pretty amazing. So that's something that you can be grateful for. Or, wow, it's actually a sunny day. I can get up to that. So, and as you do this over time, perhaps you'll see more of the light of day and appreciate that. Because having gratefulness in the moment takes you away from your thought, the brooding thoughts that has you kind of go crazy. I know I used to go crazy. So, and also I would actually add in maybe not a general gratitude, and if you have a partner, maybe something to be grateful for about with your partner. So for example, if my husband did laundry, I would say, wow, I'm so thankful that he did my laundry, even if he shrunk my most beautiful sweater, which he often does. And because really I don't want to get pulled into getting mad, just one more thing to get upset about. And again, you know, holiday time would be maybe even more of a touchier time. So if we can find different pieces of gratitude, that would be great. And sometimes you can do that throughout the day. If you're upset, it's like, oh, well, I can be upset, but now, first of all, you know, what else can I be thankful for in this moment, to kind of offset and have a more balanced way of having your emotions. So, to reiterate, the 7 survival skills during the holiday season when you find it very tough is to not feel obligated to go to every event. So being able to say no and have that self-preservation. Number 2 is taking an actual breather at a gathering so that you can be deflected away from questions. And then 3, having the support of loved ones that may know about your situation but can also deflect your questions and take you away from the stress of whoever you're going to be encountering at these gatherings. And 4, it's about being authentic with your emotions so that you're not fully bottling it in, which can in of itself cause more imbalance. And 5, oh, well, that actually goes in with not bottling the emotions as well as just being authentic with who you really are in this moment. And then number 6 is connecting with your partner or friend or loved one who is in your life. And then lastly, it's about having gratitude in your life. So that is it for this evening, and I really want to thank you for taking the time to watch this, and hopefully you'll have some tips that will have you thrive in this season. And so join me next Wednesday evening at 9:30 p.m. I'll actually be in New York visiting family as part of the holidays, as it happens. And I think what will be great is if I could do like some kind of a holiday recipe, and I might do I'm thinking like a gluten-free pancake, but a slightly festive one, and that will be fertility friendly or health friendly. And otherwise, I'll see you then 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be square, and check out more of my posts. Scroll down, there's lots of awesome ideas. And like my page, and buy my book, which is right there, Pathways to Pregnancy, and you can get that on Amazon, Indigo Chapters, as well as Barnes & Noble. So I hope to see you next Wednesday. Happy holiday season. Take care. Bye for now.